Welcome to USFCR Academy Live. We created this program with you in mind, so you can have a place to get all your answers in one spot from our subject matter experts. Call in and ask questions.
Hi, this is Carla with HCGS outside the phone in.
Hey, Carla.
Ask us about different solicitations, about the industry.
Doesn't matter if you've been in for a day, a week, lifetime, doesn't matter.
No matter what the question is, we want to be able to answer it.
The greatest part is there's no prerequisite for getting on the Academy Live.
When you call in, you'll also get a chance to network with other contractors out there and showcase your capabilities.
We started talking and Anna put us together and we thought, hey, we could put this together and look at it. And then the more I looked into it, it seemed like, well, that really eliminates a lot of my competition for like total small business.
This venue where you have different companies, different company owners coming together, all with the purpose of pursuing federal government contracts. It works very well together.
Plus, when you win, you can showcase your wins, and we'll be happy to showcase you in USFCR fashion.
While I was on this broadcast with you guys, I just got my 6th contract.
What? Really?
Yep.
Wait, you just went to 0 to 6? Jesse, why have we not talked? Congratulations, look at this. Balloons! Huzzah!
Well, of course we have some killer content, but really, this program is designed for you.
For you. For you.
For you, the government contractor.
So come on in, join us. We'll see you on the Academy Live. Here we are, back again, week 3 of our Best of USFCR Academy Live series. It's the last week, and I don't know about you, but I feel like we have given you so much information in the past 2 weeks alone. It's kind of crazy. So tell me what you've learned that you like the most in the comments below. We are monitoring them, so ask questions, let us know what you've learned and what you hope to gain maybe in the next time we come back for the Academy Live in 2020. So today we're going to talk about past performance. We're going to talk about the thing that you guys asked the most of 2019, which is how do I gain past performance and what constitutes as being a part of it? So we're going to answer all those questions, including we have a very special, start to finish example of a federal contractor who is really taking this stuff to heart. He's taking all this information and pushing forward to start winning federal contracts, and you're going to hear about his success story very shortly. So we hope you enjoy this part 3 of our Best of USFCR Academy Live series.
I own M&A Hill House Trucking out of Niantic, Connecticut, and I am working actually on my my woman-owned small business at the moment, but I don't have any idea how to do a corporate resume. I was just wondering how would I go about doing, I have personal resume, but not a corporate resume.
Okay.
And I need to get these items together.
Yeah, sure. So when it comes to the business, let me ask this first. Is this a brand new trucking company or have you guys been around for a while?
Oh, no, we've been in service since 2011.
Oh, okay. Perfect. So then this will be a lot easier then.
Okay.
Okay, so since you've been in business for a while, you already have basically your core capabilities down of what you can and cannot do. What you're going to want to do is create your capabilities statement, which is your corporate resume. Same exact thing.
Oh, is that what that? Oh, yes, I didn't know.
Yep, it's the same
my
thing.
capability statement. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel silly now.
No, don't feel silly. It's totally fine. It's just the wording. Again, the government's wording and how things are can be a little bit tricky. So yeah, a corporate resume is the capability statement. That's just what the federal government calls it. So
okay.
Yeah, so if you already have it, just keep it, what have you already created in a PDF or you just have the online version?
No, I have the whole thing because I actually tried to start doing this last year, but then we our company kind of everything just kind of fell apart. So I'm starting fresh today. So, but I already have the most of the things, like, because I'm already with Sam, and so I had to do that, but I haven't done anything. I go on the APP app, the online, and now I'm going to start looking for proposals. I have not yet to write my first proposal whatsoever.
Okay.
So
Sure.
yeah, so I'm kind of starting from scratch again.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the challenge this time.
Good.
Hi, good morning or good afternoon. This is Aretha Massa Hillhouse with M&A Hillhouse Trucking. How are you?
I'm doing great, Aretha. How are you?
I'm okay. Okay, I was told, because we're a small tractor trailer company. We're a fleet of one. And I was told to think of something that will set us aside from other tractor, the transportation companies.
Yeah.
I was thinking of stating, since we are a fleet of one, that the owner will always be with their cargo. But then again, what if we start to expand, and that would not always be the case? So I'm a little unsure of that. I'm trying to figure out what would put us, stand us out.
Okay.
It's and we've, of course, I haven't even written one proposal yet, so.
Okay. Well, finding out what makes you stand out is part of your differentiators, which is part of the capability statement, which ends up helping you write a proposal. So you're on the right track. So I'm not going to say you're not, getting there. But when it comes to that, you do make a good point, because if you put that on your differentiators, it'll work for now. But in the future, you're right. You want to be able to have that ability to expand. And if you state that Aretha's always going to be on the truck, well, you're not always going to be on the truck. But a way, or at least you hope not. I mean, I want you to retire one day. But
exactly.
But what I would suggest, a way to kind of get around that, instead, you could state that you do have, let's see here, some way to state that management is heavily involved in the logistics of all of your trucking endeavors. So something that kind of states that you're involved and you oversee it all. So you're doing the logistics portion of the management side, but you don't have to physically say you're in the truck at all times. So maybe.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, something, maybe you have to sign off on all deliveries, or something that kind of just encompasses that you're heavily involved.
Okay, because I do take care of everything. My husband takes care of the truck, and I'm always with him, taking, doing all the paperwork and everything.
If we did a bid for the state of California, we did it for the California Cadet Corps. Will that help when they're looking up, for our past experience, that it was a California, not national?
Yes.
We just did a big program for the California Cadets.
Awesome.
And that'll help. Yeah. So that'll help when we're filling out our information about what we have done in the past. But we have that.
Yes.
And we can also get from them, recommendations. So that should go a long way.
Yeah, you definitely have the right idea with that. Any state or local government past performance is like the next rank highest to actual federal past performance, because if they know you've worked with other governments before, they at least know that you can work with them. So that is great past performance to have. It's definitely going to help you get a leg up when it comes to contracting.
Is there a resource to find things similar to that, like on the state level instead of just the federal level?
Sure. For state contracts, we don't currently pull the state contracts onto the advanced procurement portal right now. It's just federal.
Right.
So for state contracts, most of your Secretary of State websites will have some information about, not just registering your business, but sometimes they'll have links out to that state procurement site. Because
Secretary of State website? Okay.
Yeah, like Secretary of State for your state. So if you're in California, Secretary of State for California, their website, in their information about business, They typically have some sort of link that talks about state contracts. Every website's different, so I can't tell you like it'll be under one section versus another because they're all different. But it's typically a link off of the Secretary of State's site.
Is there any one organization that would list all the ROTC programs throughout the country?
So throughout the entire country, we list all of the ones throughout the country as far as federal goes. As far as state goes, no, that's
federal,
Yeah, so the state, like we would have to just go state by state on that one, is kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, if you're looking for state contracts, yes, it's a state by state basis. If you're looking for federal, our database, the APP, pulls all federal, all international, anything to do with the federal government side, it pulls them all.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
So when it comes to past performance, great question, Carla. So if you haven't done state and local contracts, but you've worked with companies before and you have past performance working under a company, that would be considered what you would call past performance of key personnel. So if it's past performance that doesn't have to do with your company, but it has to do with the key personnel, which in your case, you're a consultant, so it's really just on your past performance, make sure that you list it on your capability statement as past performance of key personnel. And then you can write some of the past performance that you've done while working under other companies. Now, I was just working with a coaching client about this morning, and they did bring something up that I want to share with you, that when you put past performance of your key personnel, you don't want to mention, if there's any non-compete, you don't want to mention the name of the company that you were working under in that time, because they could find out and then tell you not to use their name, which happened to a coaching client of mine. So then they just legally just had to change it so that it just had a description of the company. So they put large company of, large tech company, for example, instead of putting the name of the company they worked under. So that's just a legal moment of just making sure you don't take their company's past performance as yours, even though, again, you were an employee under them and you have that past performance of you. Just make sure it says past performance of key and personnel. And again, don't mention their name. Just put a descriptor of the type of company you worked for. So there's that. But very good question. You can use all that past performance though. Doesn't have to be state or local. You can use commercial, you can use private sector. It's just kind of a ranking system is what I was talking about before. Okay, so Karen asked in the chat, can you include awards on your capability statement? The answer is yes. So an example of that was Jimmy's, who was on the call earlier. So he has a section where he put company awards and recognition. And so he put some examples of that right there on his cap statement. It definitely brings some credibility to the company. So yes, I would highly suggest if you got them, add them. Cool. So Karen also said as a follow-up question, should she add non-government customers onto her capability statement and past performance? Absolutely, Karen. If you have any sort of great past performance where you can show that you have done similar work in the past, someone's paid you to do it, and they thought it was great, put it on your past performance. You can use those as examples. The way the government kind of ranks them is, at the top of the tier, you have related federal work. Then you have related state work, then local government work, and then commercial work and private sector. So they're all kind of in a ranking system, but any past performance you have is going to give some credibility. So definitely add it on. So we're going to put on the screen, it's a company called Inc. LLC. So Inc. LLC on their past performance section of their online capability statement has 3 examples of past performance. And on here, they're putting the name of the company that they worked with. They put what sort of scope of work. So in this case, provide cleaners, machining, coolants, those sort of things. They put the start date, the end date, the point of contact, and then they let the government know, or whoever was looking at the website, that if they want that specific contact information, they can contact them. On your PDF version of your capability statement, you'd probably want to put most of that information. So the company name, what did you provide, start and end dates, and then you don't have to put the points of contact directly on the cap statement. You can put those only on the proposal when you actually write your proposal, when you're just talking about the PDF, but instead you can put the contract value if you'd like. And one of the suggestions that I have also, if you have past performance for a company that's been in business for a long time, and let's say you're trying to figure out, well, we've been in business for 13 years. What kind of past performance should we put? Put a variable amount of past performance. So if you have contracts that are 10 years old and you have contracts that are 2 years old, put one that's like 10 years old, put one that's 5 years old, put one that's 1 year old. Put things that are showing a timeline of growth. And it also shows that you've been in business for a while and you've had great work. So give them the scope of how long you've been doing this work. Okay, awesome. So Brady's asking a question in the chat of what if a business is brand new and doesn't have any past performance? How would you write this on a capability statement? Fabulous question, Brady. I get this one all the time, especially if you're a small business and you're a startup and you're just getting started, then yeah, you're not going to have past performance yet. So one of the things that you can do is start looking at your past. So if you're one of the key personnel in that company, look at your resume. It's probably pretty extensive. You probably have some great examples of work that you've done in the past and how you're bringing that experience into your business as a small business owner. Because I guarantee you that you're probably going to be one of the key personnel if you're a startup. So you can add a key personnel resume and put that in your past performance section on the cap statement. So instead of writing past performance, you can write key personnel and just give a little mini bio into some of the key personnel that is at your company. Yeah, if you don't have past performance, go to a key personnel resume. Also start seeing if you can drum up some business in the commercial or private sector and see if you can bring that in as well, because it doesn't have to be federal past performance. It could be state, local government, commercial, private sector, anything where someone's able to say you did this job, you did it great, and it was under your business.
Okay. Now, my next question is, now that I actually have past performance to speak of, when does it get updated on my file, and what exactly does it say? So I can kind of know what.
So you said that the contracts were small, correct? So they're definitely less than that simplified acquisition threshold?
Yes.
Okay. So if they're small, then they technically, anything that's below the simplified acquisition threshold doesn't have to go into CPARS. So the contracting officer isn't required to put it in CPARS for you, even though it's still required to go into the FPDS database. So no matter what, it's going to be listed that you got a contract. It just won't go into a past performance section. So instead, what you can do is you can always reach out to that contracting officer and request that they write a review in CPARS for you. So you can request one, but if you don't request one, they're not obligated. And trust me, I've talked to a lot of contracting officers at this point, and if they're not obligated to do something, they're not going out of their way to do it unless someone asks them to, because it's just more work and they have so much work to do. So I would probably ask the contracting officer if he wouldn't mind writing you a review in CPARS so you can start gaining some past performance. If you're doing a great job, I don't see why they wouldn't, but I might as well ask.
What about this capability? Yeah, that's great to know.
Yeah, and then obviously also your capability statement, you'll definitely want to update that with this past performance. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, you can update your cap statement in your past performance section, tack this on, because now you have federal past performance. You can also update the online version as well, so we can update the federally formatted website, the online version, and I'll send you a link actually after this, because we have a form that you can use to make updates to the online version, and so I'll send you that form so you can just update the past performance, and then I'll have Jimmy and his team put that up for you.
But then they have the section for past performance. How does that play, and how should I gear my proposal?
Yeah.
And ensuring that I'm the low bid, but also including past performance.
So what it really comes down to, Craig, is what is going to be listed in the evaluation factors. So do you have the solicitation number? And I could pull it up real quick and kind of take a look for you. So let me take a look at this for you and see if I can find anything from the evaluation factors. Because definitely, if you've had 4 contracts and you have past performance with the Veteran Affairs Office, so I wouldn't want you to, not include that, especially if they're asking. So let's take a look here. It looks like they even posted a update for it today. So let's click on the most recent one there and click on View More. So we'll scroll down here and we're gonna look at the description. Great. All right, so they updated the combined synopsis below. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Maybe they even changed it to an RFP.
No, the update is basically I think there was a mistake. They included language from a cut and paste document that they just removed. So the initial statement of work is still good.
Okay, so Alex, go back up to, on the right-hand side of the timeline, go to the combined synopsis solicitation right before it, posted on 11/7. All right, so here we go. So the evaluation will be determined based on the best value. So this is why they chose it as an RFQ and not an RFP. But I could see that they could go either way, because best value doesn't necessarily mean lowest price. Best value is more of a well-rounded evaluation based off of other factors. So on this one, they're actually including that says they're gonna go to the lowest price that's technically acceptable, that also has past performance, and they're also looking at a technical specs as well. So they want you to be able to prove that you have the capability to provide the actual work. So it's more of a well-rounded RFQ than what I would initially think is a request for quote, which is typically just a capability statement, a quote, and maybe a small reference point. So this one is more of a well-rounded RFQ, but I would definitely include past performance, and it seems like it is going to be part of the evaluation factors.
And one last question. When I look at the past performance in the statement of work or in the combined synopsis, it doesn't specifically state that the past performance has to be with the federal government. My engineering partner and myself, we have a ton of past performance at the state and local level. More so at the local level. And so just to be clear, I can include that as past performance.
Correct. Yes.
Correct.
So past performance, unless they specifically state that they're only looking for federal, which mostly of the times they're not. Obviously, federal is the highest on the ranking tier. It goes federal, then state, then local government, then commercial work, and then private sector. So if you guys have a lot of state and local government, absolutely include that, because it's just going to make you seem more like a subject matter expert, and it's still government experience. I mean, if you work with the state and local governments, there's still some similarities that'll carry over to the federal side that they're going to recognize. So definitely add that in. The reason this works so well is because you guys are such a wealth of knowledge and are able to share this with the world by asking great questions on each one of our Academy Lives. So if you want to continue to share, use our hashtag.
Be able to go to Nashville and things. So I was just informed that the other day, so I was applying for the grant to fund the ability to go.
Yay!
So
All right.
get my national credit for the trip.
Awesome. Thank you, Anna, for bringing that up. That's so cool. Look at that. Our local SBA.
Thank you on that.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we will look for that too. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week on USFCR Academy Live.
One other question, well, let's go. So how much of this stuff needs to be very approved when, you're bidding on these federal contracts for the government?
How much does what approve?
Very approved.
Like American made. Is it
Oh, the
mostly
Berry
American
Amendment.
made?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Berry Amendment is in place. So since you guys are doing textiles, you do want to make sure that they are American-made, manufactured. They are going to check that. Any sort of textile solicitation in their FAR regulations, they're probably going to mention the Berry Amendment or the FAR regulations that has to do with Buy America. So be sure that you have documentation that shows that your textiles are made in America and manufactured.
Okay, are there, because most of our stuff is not made in America, so are there opportunities for that, or is it mainly things that are manufactured
So
in
if
America?
it's for textiles for the military, under the Berry Amendment, they have to be American-made, manufactured. If you're talking about like the bags or just regular military equipment, those don't. There's still the Buy American Act that still kind of is in place, so they're going to want to preference something by America, but they don't have to. Versus the Berry Amendment specifically says textiles for the DoD have to be American manufactured. So you have a little bit more wiggle room but not as much.
Hi, this is Craig Williams with TW Financial and Management Group, and I just want to say you guys always do a great job.
Aw, thanks, Craig.
Okay. Now, the HHS NACE code that I'm most interested in is 237110. That's for water and wastewater construction. Now, that NACE code in itself doesn't interest me, but what we do is we do financial analysis, management, and cost benefit analysis for water and wastewater issues. So, for example, if an entity is looking to either upgrade its wastewater plant or move to new construction, we'll do the cost benefit analysis of that. So what is the best way to engage small business with HHS to market those types of services?
Sure. So what I would probably suggest is if they don't have contracts already available, there's two different strategies you could use. Either one, you could take a look and see what sort of companies are already getting contracts for the water and wastewater construction and see if you can partner to be able to do that portion of a contract. So if it's written into those contracts that they're going to need a cost analysis, and most of them will have some sort of environmental or cost analysis built in. So make some partnerships. That's kind of the first route. The second route would be to contact the HHS directly. Probably, let me look at my list of their, I'd probably look at, the sub-agency for the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry or the CDC. Those would probably be two. I'm looking at their sub-agencies. Yeah, those would probably be two I'd want to look into as far as kind of soliciting your services and seeing if they either have contracts available or, again, if it's more of a built-in to some existing contracts. And in that case, you just need a partner so that one does the work portion and one does the research, and then you guys make a really good partnership. So those would be two kind of strategies that I would use. The other thing, I'm trying to think who else might be good with that. Cost benefit analysis. Yeah.
And I just also like to add that I'm a service-disabled veteran-owned small business. So would it be more advantageous for me to try to get them to issue contracts under that set-aside or subcontract through the current contract holders, advertising myself as such?
Yeah, I mean, I would do both because I think any kind of contract dollars are, good. But definitely, if you respond to example sources sought solicitations, that's the best way to help let the agency know that there is a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business willing and interested in that contract. Because as one of the FAR regulations, they actually say in the FAR that if more than one small business is actually responding to a sources sought, then the government has to make sure that when it is issued as a solicitation, they have to make it set aside as such. So if there's more than one small business, whether it's woman-owned, service-disabled, 8A and such, they have to at least make that set aside. And at that point, you're canceling out any of those large companies. And so if those large companies who are already doing the wastewater, treatment and need to get in, they have to use one of you. So partnerships is going to be pretty major, especially in that kind of realm that I feel like maybe there may be some larger companies who are doing that work. So that's what I would probably say.
Okay, that sounds good. And thank you for your time. And I will see you guys in Nashville.
Yes, Kyle did just talk to me about that on bid training. Yeah, let's see if Kyle can call. All right, Kyle, if you want to call in and just give some advice to some people that are getting started in federal contracting, since you have been successful before with simplified acquisitions, even though you didn't even realize, it's good for you to just kind of give some advice to some others on the call if you're willing. Yeah, that's the point. Masterminds is a discussion of different people coming together to share their ideas. And what's cool about Kyle's company is that he's doing real estate appraisals, and so it's kind of fitting for the Department of Agriculture because they are definitely one that purchases his items. So did he call? He called in? Okay, sure. Let's open up the phone line. Hey, Kyle.
Hi, thank you.
Long time no chat. Just kidding.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long time no type.
So tell us about your company.
Yeah, can you tell everyone a little bit about your company and what you guys have been doing?
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about us and just kind of our story and where we're at and where I am in the process and just kind of get you updated.
Sweet.
So we're the Gill Group. We're out of Dexter, Missouri. We are actually recently, I self-certified us as a Hub Zone certified business.
Whoop, whoop.
I've only actually been with the company since February of this year. I've been selling real estate in Missouri for a while, but I came on with this company and realized that they have opportunities with the government and what we do. And we've been doing some projects with USDA RD. We've been doing some projects with HUD. And basically, we decided we're going to start chasing government contracts. So I've started just researching. I actually got the book for Path to Success.
Yay!
Yeah, I read it in one day.
Wow. Did you have the first edition or the second?
It's all packed full of all the information I was looking for, you know. I think what everybody's missing on everything is the relationship piece.
Yep.
We can get certified, and the certified part is tough, but it's just paperwork, you know. But to win contracts, you have to get to know these people and start building the relationship, because that's how I think the simplified acquisition contracts happen. Really, before reading the book, I didn't know much about simplified acquisition, and I thought everything was on FBO or RFP or other websites. So I've been chasing it myself, trying to find it, and then came across USFCR and decided to set up a meeting with Steven. We were able to talk and have a good conversation. I got my principal involved, and we decided to go ahead and sign on with you guys earlier this week. So I guess that would have been Monday. And since then, I've just been soaking up information, watching all the videos, and making sure that we're correctly registered on SAMs, and just kind of going through. Since this is the first time I've really looked at it, I'm really trying to just get all the information into my brain and know that it's put in there the way that I want to put it in there. So I guess since we are winning contracts, you can say we're a veteran and we're good at this. However, we have no idea what we're doing.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, you do have some idea what you're doing because you have been successful. It's just you didn't really know how successful you were, which is what's, kind of funny about your story, is that you already were working with the government without even really knowing you were doing government contracts.
Correct.
Yeah. So
correct. So now basically what my new angle is, because we've only been Hub Zone certified for 2 months.
Okay.
But it's not even reflected on. I was just pulling our certifications, our DFAR and our FAR, and we are not even listed on that as Hub Zone certified. So there's just some issues that I want to make sure that I get cleaned up before I start reaching out to all these contracting officers. And I want to have my pitch right. I want to have everything together when I start calling. So I haven't really started calling on much. Even though we do have past performance, I believe I'll probably start there, right?
Yeah. So what I would suggest is definitely start with, have you guys made a capability statement?
I've done the capability statement through you guys, and so I have my own government website, and I'm treating that as my capability statement. Do I have to have a separate PDF?
Yeah, you should have one actually. If we created the online capability statement for you, then there probably is a PDF that was attached, because a lot of the newer ones that we've been creating has a PDF attached to it. So we'll just want to check that out, make sure it's all up to date. It has your Hub Zone certification on it. Your case manager will end up going through your SAM registration, so make sure you be in contact with them and tell them to just double check that Hub Zone is in the FAR and DFARS report. So that way that's all cleared up and you'll be good to go for that standpoint. And then tell me a little bit about how, Steven's kind of helped you on your conversation. How did that go? What kind of plan did he say for you guys to move forward with?
Well, Steven, I think, just agreed and brought it to light that, well, let me back up and just kind of say that we started with we were looking at another company.
Okay.
And we were really, really close to onboarding with the company, and I'll leave them anonymous. but their program was nearly $30,000 annually.
Woo! My gosh.
So we took a really hard look at it, and we were getting ready to jump on, and that's whenever I came across you guys. And after talking to Steven, you know, the value was already there. I think the bid training and the bid review was the biggest piece that kind of drew us that direction.
Nice.
And he was like, Kyle, you're already HubZone certified. You have past performance. You have all these things. Like, yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah. And I mean, the bid review is a really great tool of bid training that some people don't take advantage of. And I definitely suggest doing it. So anytime you guys are submitting a bid, you know, just email it over to the training email, and then, which is just training@usfcrgov.com. And then we'll take a look at it for you. Just let us know what bid training you're going to be on, and then we'll do a live review right there on the training. So it's really an awesome point that we have to this program, is just getting you guys that insight that you need. Because you could write a really awesome proposal but miss maybe one of the different points of the instructions to offer, and then that bid ends up going in the no pile. And we would hate for that to happen. So just being able to have a second set of eyes is pretty crucial.
Right.
Yeah.
So like and I have submitted bids in the past. So I have submitted several bids in the past with no luck. I've only been debriefed once, and I didn't even know that I was getting debriefed. You know, I just kind of was like, hey, I wanted to know if there's any way I could figure out how close I was. You know, didn't really ask, is there any chance that I could get a debrief and get them on the phone?
Yeah.
So I think we were really scared of personal conversation, honestly. We didn't want to be breaking any rules. So to read the book and understand, like, no, that's what you need to be doing is an eye-opening experience for us.
Yeah. And what's really cool, too, is, I mean, the debriefs are key. So any debriefs you get, you can also bring those to us, and we'll go ahead and break it down with you to see what sort of factors they're saying were the reasons that you didn't win. But what's interesting is that there's technically two different types of debriefs. There's the regular one, which is for anything over the simplified acquisition threshold. And then there's the basically request for information, which is the version of a debrief that's for anything in the simplified acquisition threshold, which is the $250,000 limit. So if you're just asking for, you know, what did we do wrong, and it's a simplified acquisitions contract, they might not go into as much detail, but they'll basically give you a shortened version of a debrief.
No, the one time I did receive it was like a report card in a way, right?
Yeah. Yep,
So
it's like
it kind of comes back to you in a similar format as the bid goes out. It comes back to you in the same format, but just kind of with a report of the companies that bid and the scores that were associated.
Yep, exactly. So they're just going to score you. And that's why looking at the evaluation factors when you're looking at your solicitations is key. Because if you already know that past performance, let's say, is the number one thing. I mean, I mentioned this in bid trading today, but is the number one thing, then that's something you definitely want to showcase. Versus if price is the most important, then you got to work on getting the lowest technically acceptable price that you can, because that's going to be their determining factor. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the hard thing is when you're going to bid a 5-year contract, you know, you're afraid to put that price out there for 5 years, right?
Yeah.
And I understand starting small and winning some contracts, and I guess in a way we have started small, right?
Yeah.
We're winning some smaller stuff, and
yeah,
we're getting some appraisals and some one-off rent comp studies and some things of that sort. However, you know, we feel like we're capable, because we're a national company. We feel like we're capable to take on the bigger contracts and start heading that direction.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to like option year contracts, you'll want to add in, you know, a little bit for inflation, and that's okay. It's okay to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep it the same price just because, you know, you're nervous if they're going to accept it. They take into account of inflation, so it's completely acceptable to increase the price a little bit.
Yeah, I think the general consensus is typically the reasons why we feel we lose is price, and I guess it's probably not always the biggest concern.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, and now just trying to gear us towards HubZone and things of that sort. So it's an exciting process, and it's neat to know how much business is out there. Now it's just, you know, finding our niche and getting into it.
Sweet. Well, I'm happy to have you join the USFCR family, so welcome, and thanks for joining us on Masterminds.
You got it. Well, happy birthday to Smokey the Bear, and we'll be talking soon.
All right, thanks, Kyle.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, bye. What? Oh my God! Yay! The Guild Group just won their first 2 BPAs. My God! Wow. All right, Kyle, congratulations! I'm so excited for you. Kyle, can you call in if you want? I mean, if you're able to, and just share a little bit about the experience. I bet you everyone on the call would love to learn a little bit more about that. So please call in if you can. I'd love to be able to hear about it and what your experience has been thus far, how it's been communicating, and the whole process. I think that's amazing. Congratulations. Yay, success.
This is Kyle.
Hey, congratulations, Kyle.
What's going on? Thank you so much.
So tell me a little bit about the experience. I'd love to be able to just kind of hear the journey. I know last time we spoke, you were kind of just taking this on for the company, and you were excited to learn. So what has it been like?
So basically, we had put in these bids. We'd put these bids together and gotten everything over to the contracting officer, Gene Jackson with HUD. And, you know, I kind of forgot about them because we had put them in and we just kind of kept going. And then I jumped into everything USFCR. I mean, I watched all the videos. I read Dan Driscoll's book in one day. I went back through all the Facebook stuff, got in on so many of these bid trainings and masterminds, and really started looking at like the forecasted opportunities and trying to get our foot in the door that way, trying to introduce our set-asides and just try to build the relationships. And I believe through that, I updated our SAMs. I noticed some things wrong with FARs and DFARs report, and just trying to contact Gene Jackson. I never actually got a hold of him, but like it just so happened that day, you know, he awards the contract after like my third, fourth email and third or fourth phone call. So I feel like that had something to do with it. And then it was the same exact bid, just a different region, same opportunity, just a different region of the nation. And we had put in for that one and we won that one as well. So really cool stuff.
That's awesome. So really, I mean, it's funny because you kind of just forgot that you had even applied, and then you still did the due diligence of reaching out and calling and emailing. And even though you didn't get a response, you didn't give up. And I think that that is a huge lesson for anyone else who's listening too, to really, you know, take away, is that you didn't just send one email and then be like, okay, well, we didn't win. But you said you called him and called and emailed 3 or 4 times and just made sure your presence was known, that he knew that, you know, you guys were interested, even though they never ended up reaching back out. And I think, that probably did play a big factor into why you ended up getting the award. Plus, you probably wrote it really well.
I think a lot of it is, it goes back to building the relationship. And I think that was the component we were missing, is building the relationship. I think we were kind of scared of it. And we would see these big numbers and put in this award and make sure everything was perfect and send it on. Never really made the attempt to contact and talk to people and try to figure things out. So that's basically what we've added to the mix, and I think it's helped a lot. I think, I'm building my, the castle wall strategy.
Oh, nice.
Out, through the job spending, bid training, I've noticed all through my NICS code where the money's been spent and when it is being spent. And from there, I've gone back and through APP and found all the contracting officers from my NICS codes. And I've basically got about 20 to 50 contracting officers that I'm starting to focus in on. So
nice.
I think I've got a good plan. It's just hopefully able to keep coming together. There's a few forecasted opportunities that we noticed that we really like, and I know what we could do. So I'm just trying to start working on that.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. I mean, you definitely are on the right track. I mean, you even remember the castle wall strategy. Woohoo.
Hey, I'm telling you, I read the book.
I know. What would be your one piece of advice for people that are on the call that maybe haven't won their first contract yet and they're still kind of just getting themselves in the ropes? What's your biggest piece of advice?
I would probably say first, make sure your paperwork is straight. Just get that out of the way and make sure that's done. And then once that's done and good, then basically figure out where your money is getting spent in your NICS code, and then figure out who's spending it. Try to build those relationships. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, so knowing your target, so getting your paperwork right, and then knowing who you're targeting.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the castle wall is a great way to put it. I mean, you can hit the wall all over it, 100 times, but if you focus in one spot and hit it 100 times, you have a much better chance of getting through it. So
That's it. You got it. Well, congratulations, Kyle. I'm super proud of you. Like, this is just like proud teacher moment.
yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm very excited. I felt compelled to call because I do think a lot of the success is just going through and watching all the training that you guys put on. So I appreciate all your help.
Yeah, of course. No problem. We're here for you, and we're just excited. And definitely you're going to get your name in the hat to potentially spin to win at the end of the month. So that's what you get.
All right,
you
great.
get at least that
it.
opportunity.
Well, I'll be looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too, Kyle. Thanks.
All right, see ya.
Bye. All right, awesome. So hopefully you guys learned something from Kyle calling in. That's so fantastic. Like, I love when everyone wins. Like, this just makes my job better. So yay, thank you again, Kyle. And for everyone else who's watching there, Kyle is a great example of just not giving up and just keep learning, keep coming to these trainings, read the book, go on YouTube. We have so many resources out there for you that are made to help you make this easy. Federal contracting can be pretty complex, and we get that. Trust me, we totally get it. But we do our best here at USFCR to put together all the different resources for you that you can use in order to simplify this process. So if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, get on the YouTube channel. We put out videos all the time. Definitely log yourself into the advanced procurement portal. And if you don't know what your login is, shoot us an email, call in, and we'll definitely make sure you get into APP. You can always check out our website. We just have so much awesome training material here for you. And of course, masterminds. So call in with your questions, and potentially you could be as successful as Kyle, because that's the first step. USFCR is always here. Whether it's a phone call, an email, a webinar, a live stream, whatever the method, we're always going to be here for you to answer your questions and get you the information that you need. So thank you again so very much for coming back to these webinars and these lives and asking great questions, because we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much from all of us here at USFCR. We're very thankful to have you as our wonderful clients. And for those who are not clients yet, we hope to hear from you soon and have you join our family, because it's a really great experience to work with people such as yourself and learn your story, because everyone is very unique, and your journey in federal contracting is going to be different from anyone else who's on these calls. You're always going to learn something new that you can apply to your business and your industry.